The early morning light filtered through the towering windows of the sleek downtown art gallery, casting soft shadows across its polished floors. Madison Bell stepped inside, each step echoing slightly in the hushed space. She was weary from her journey. Jet lag clung to her like a shadow after a lengthy flight from Europe. Her clothes were comfortable and casual: jeans, a simple t-shirt, and a well-worn cardigan. Her hair, still slightly tousled from travel, fell loosely around her face. Despite the informal attire, there was an unmistakable air of quiet confidence about her. Yet as she made her way through the gallery, Madison couldn't help but notice the curious, judging eyes of the staff and patrons. They took in her understated appearance, the casual backpack slung over one shoulder, and flicked their gazes knowingly at one another. Among these observers was Vanessa, the gallery manager, with her sharp suit and sharper gaze. Spotting Madison, Vanessa's lips curled into a smirk. "You there," she called, pointing dismissively towards Madison. "We need someone to clear out the trash from the deliveries earlier. Make sure it's all out before the exhibition starts." Madison paused, catching the derisive tone that sliced through the air. Her eyes met Vanessa's for a moment, realizing the misunderstanding. But instead of correcting her, Madison merely nodded with a serene smile. "Right away," she replied, her voice calm and unwavering. As Madison walked past Vanessa, heading deeper into the gallery, she felt a swell of irony. She may have looked out of place among the polished surfaces, but soon enough, appearances would yield to the truth of who she really was. Madison continued her walk through the gallery, feeling a mixture of amusement and anticipation simmer within her. Though her appearance had led Vanessa to dismiss her as an assistant, Madison knew that soon her work would redefine these first impressions. She navigated the sleek corridors with the ease of someone who felt at home amidst art and its expression, a world where she never needed to justify her presence. Passing elegantly displayed canvases and installations, Madison absorbed the energy of the space. She could already envision her work gracing these walls, sparking conversations among admirers and critics alike. Her mind, vibrant with ideas despite the fatigue, hummed at the prospect of the upcoming exhibition. Finally reaching the director's office, Madison was met with a warm smile from Martin, the gallery director. He was a tall, slightly graying gentleman with the discerning eye of someone who had spent decades in the art world. Martin rose from behind his immaculately organized desk, extending a hand in welcome. "Madison Bell," he exclaimed warmly, his voice echoing genuine enthusiasm. "It's so good to finally meet you in person after all our correspondence. We've been eagerly awaiting your arrival. How was your flight?" She shook his hand, grateful for the friendly encounter. "Long but productive," she replied with a slight laugh. "I couldn't resist sketching new ideas even at 30,000 feet. Martin chuckled, "That's the spirit of an artist. Please, take a seat. I trust everyone's making you feel at home?" Madison considered the question, a smile touching her lips as she chose her words. "Well, I think I may have been mistaken for the new gallery assistant by some," she said with a lightheartedness that belied any annoyance. "Really?" Martin's eyes twinkled with amusement as he leaned back in his chair. "A classic case of judging a book by its cover, though I'm sure you'll soon set them straight with your work." Meanwhile, back in the gallery, Vanessa was recounting her encounter with Madison to a group of junior staff. Her voice, dripping with a sense of superiority, resonated in the break area where she leaned casually against the countertop. "You should have seen the way she just sauntered in here, looking completely out of place. Whoever she is, I sent her to handle the trash situation. Better she learns now to keep up with our standards." The younger staff nodded along, more invested in their own tasks than Vanessa's idle gossip, yet not daring to counter her narrative. Vanessa's self-assured smirk grew, confident in her version of events. Back in the director's office, Martin was briefing Madison on the schedule for the day and her role in the upcoming exhibition. "Your feedback on the layout will be crucial, and the media are eager for a bit of your time as well. We've arranged an introductory session with our staff in just under an hour." Madison listened intently, taking mental notes. She was appreciative of Martin's support and genuine enthusiasm. "Thank you, Martin. I'm excited to collaborate and for my work to enhance the gallery's collection. The opportunity to witness the reaction firsthand is invaluable," she responded, her words sincere. With their meeting concluded, Martin stood, gesturing to the door. "Shall we head to the main space? I'd like to formally introduce you to the rest of the gallery team before the press arrives." The pair walked together towards the exhibition wing, passing art connoisseurs, gallery workers, and event planners bustling about with purpose. It was a hive of activity, promising an exciting day ahead. As they approached the gathered team, Madison caught sight of Vanessa amidst the group, her expression relaxed, seemingly oblivious as to what was about to transpire. The room bustled around them, filled with the chatter of staff finalizing details for the day's events. Martin cleared his throat, commanding attention with ease. The room quieted promptly, heads turning towards the director and, subsequently, to the unfamiliar yet intriguing figure at his side. "Good morning, everyone," Martin began, his voice carrying across the gallery with authority and warmth. "I'd like to introduce you to someone very special who'll be with us for today's exhibition and beyond. This is Madison Bell, our featured artist." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd, with faces reflecting varying degrees of surprise and recognition. All eyes were now firmly fixed on Madison, whose poised demeanor spoke volumes more than her earlier casual appearance. Vanessa's smirk vanished instantly, replaced by a tightening jaw and furrowed brow. She stood frozen, her mind racing to comprehend the unfolding reality. The woman she had condescendingly ordered to handle menial tasks was, in fact, the highlight of their exhibition. Madison, unfazed by the shift in mood, offered a gracious nod to the team. "Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm thrilled to be here and excited to share my work with all of you." Vanessa, suddenly aware of her precarious position, felt a flush of heat rise to her cheeks, embarrassment blossoming in stark relief against her earlier arrogance. Martin continued, detailing Madison's impressive artistic credentials and international accolades, noting how her innovative style had captivated audiences worldwide. The gathered employees listened, a newfound respect threaded through their attention. As Madison observed the crowd, she noted the subtle changes in their expressions, curiosity replacing judgment, interest surfacing where indifference had been. The transformation affirmed her belief in actions speaking louder than appearances. The meeting concluded with Martin announcing a short break before the official press and media presentation, giving everyone time to prepare. Team members dispersed, a few approaching Madison more confidently, congratulating her on her achievements. In that moment, witnessing the impact her presence alone had begun to make, Madison felt a deep sense of satisfaction. She had turned initial misconceptions into a platform for mutual respect and collaboration. There was still much to do, but the path forward was clear, and she was more than ready to lead the way through her art and vision. The hours leading up to the official exhibition were filled with an electric hum throughout the gallery. Staff moved with purpose, fine-tuning the final details in anticipation of the event. The polished spaces that showcased awe-inspiring artworks were now illuminated under perfect lighting, making each piece stand out in striking contrast. The main exhibition hall was gradually filling with invited guests, critics, and press members eager to capture the essence of Madison Bell's creative genius. The atmosphere was one of contained excitement, a buzz of voices blending with the subtle background music that set the tone for an unforgettable afternoon. Vanessa, still reeling from the earlier revelation, attempted to maintain her composure. She stationed herself near the entrance, greeting arrivals with professional efficiency yet haunted by her own missteps that had left her feeling exposed. Her thoughts seemed to swirl with unease as she greeted patrons with strained smiles, her mind replaying the embarrassment of earlier events. Backstage before the formal unveiling, Madison prepared herself with a brief moment of solitude. She stood amid her creations, drawing energy from the vibrant colors and shapes that had slowly come to life under her skilled hands. Each canvas, a vivid story, each sculpture, a captured emotion. These works were extensions of her journey, from her earliest inspirations in quiet European studios to this moment, a testament to her resilience and vision. As she emerged from her temporary refuge, Madison was escorted to the forefront of the gathering crowd. The space transitioned into a platform where she would introduce her world to those eager to see beyond the surface. Martin, ever the supportive director, signaled for attention as he took up his position beside her. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice commanded the room's attention, silencing whispers as guests turned toward the makeshift stage. "Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate not just an exhibition, but a unique vision that transcends traditional boundaries in art. Please welcome Madison Bell, our renowned featured artist." Applause erupted, a swell of approval that washed over Madison with invigorating warmth. Among the clapping hands, cameras clicked and flashed, capturing the significance of this gathering for the wider world. Madison's heart quickened with a familiar thrill, not of nerves, but of anticipation. She stepped forward, her presence commanding yet approachable, a dichotomy that seemed to define her artistry. "Thank you all for being here," Madison began, her voice clear and resonant. "Art, for me, has always been a dialogue, an exchange of ideas, emotions, and perspectives. My aim today is to offer you a new lens through which to view the world, to connect with these pieces not just visually but emotionally." Her words floated across the room, weaving a connection between herself and her audience, drawing them into the depth of her artistic narrative. She walked them through selected pieces, offering brief insights into her process, sparking thoughtful expressions among the guests. Vanessa watched from the periphery, her discomfort magnified with each applaud that Madison received. She had become a silent observer in a space she once navigated with unchallenged authority. It was as though the room's energy conspicuously excluded her, a stark contrast to the warmth extended towards Madison. After the tour and introductions, Madison returned to Martin's side, the crowd abuzz with admiration and intrigue. Guests began to meander around the gallery, engaging more closely with the works on display, their conversations animated and genuine. Meanwhile, Vanessa felt a tap on her shoulder. It was Martin, his expression a mix of professionalism and gentle reprimand. "A moment of your time, Vanessa," he spoke softly but with an air of expectation. Vanessa nodded, following Martin to a quieter corner of the gallery away from prying eyes. Her posture was defensive, arms crossed over her chest as if in self-protection. "Vanessa," Martin began, kindness softening his tone, "I expect my team to treat all colleagues with respect and professionalism, irrespective of appearances. Today's misunderstanding is an opportunity for growth. Madison's presence here is a chance for us all to learn and appreciate diverse approaches to our work." Silence hung between them momentarily, broken only by the muted echoes of footsteps nearby. Vanessa nodded, her posture relaxing slightly as she absorbed Martin's gentle yet firm leadership. "I'm sorry," she admitted quietly, her gaze falling. "I misjudged her, and I overstepped." Martin placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, signifying both acknowledgement and the potential for redemption. "I know you can do better, and I expect you to make amends. Our team sees you as a leader, and it's up to you to exemplify the standards we uphold." Vanessa nodded again, this time with resolve. "I understand, Martin. I'll do what it takes to rectify this." As Martin rejoined the mingling patrons, Vanessa was left to reflect upon her words and her role in the unfolding narrative of the gallery. She watched Madison, now engaged in an earnest conversation with a visitor, and noted the genuine interest in her eyes, a realization of the power Madison's work held, not just on walls, but within hearts. With newfound respect, Vanessa approached Madison later, intent on making amends. Her steps were measured, hesitant but purposeful, as she navigated through clusters of animated guests. When she finally stood before Madison, the noise seemed to recede into a gentle hum. "Madison," Vanessa started, voice steady, carrying a sincerity that surprised even herself. "I owe you an apology. I was wrong to dismiss you earlier. I admire the impact your work is already making." Madison, having expected this conversation, met Vanessa's gaze with a friendly warmth. "Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate your words. Understanding each other's perspectives is a process, and I'm looking forward to working together," she replied, extending grace with each word. The exchange, brief yet impactful, perhaps signaled a new beginning, a potential for change amidst the structured setting of the gallery. In that moment, possibilities unfurled, highlighted by the resonant echoes of appreciation and the vibrant presence of Madison's visionary art. With the initial introductions behind her, Madison felt a renewed surge of energy. The room, filled with the scented air of fresh paint and polished wood floors, buzzed with an appreciation that resonated deeply within her. It was time to delve into her work's backstory, an opportunity to reveal how her past journeys had culminated into this moment of artistic expression. Martin and Madison positioned themselves in a more intimate setting within the gallery, a section curated with her most evocative pieces, canvases that seemed to pulsate with life under the soft, gallery lighting. The crowd gathered once more, intrigued by the promise of a deeper insight into Madison's artistic vision. As Martin introduced her background, Madison observed the audience, noting the attentiveness reflected in their eyes. "Ladies and gentlemen," Martin began with a flourish, "Madison's journey is as compelling as her art. Having led successful exhibitions across Europe, she has pioneered new dialogues within contemporary art. Her accolades range from the Sartori Prize to the Innovate Art Award, and she's arguably one of our generation's most provocative creators." The room was silent, each person caught in the orbit of Martin's words. There was tangible respect, an eagerness to connect with the narratives behind each brushstroke and sculptural form. Madison stepped forward, her expression inviting and open. She began to share the origin stories of some of her beloved works, a series born from her time in France, where the hues of lavender fields inspired a canvas awash in purples and blues, another series that echoed the stark geometries of Berlin's urban landscape, challenging perceptions of space and movement. Many of these pieces, Madison continued, her voice steady and captivating, are dialogues, conversations that dance on the line between structure and chaos. In France, the landscape spoke softly, their whispers translated onto my canvas. In Berlin, the architecture was bold, each line a challenge to tame the organic flow of nature. Her words transformed the room, bringing vivid scenes into sharp relief within listeners' imaginations. Attendees were transported to those places, feeling the same awe and intrigue Madison had captured during her travels. She paused to allow the audience to absorb the stories and to reflect on how these diverse experiences manifested in her art. The connection she fostered was palpable, an intellectual bridge that transcended cultural and geographical boundaries, pulling disparate hearts together in shared understanding. Returning to her belief in the powerful storytelling of art, Madison shared her guiding philosophies. "At the heart of my work," she explained, meeting the eyes of several guests, "is the courage to defy expectations. I prefer to engage sincerely with my audience, not merely as spectators of beauty but as active participants in a dialogue on meaning." Madison's approach wasn't just about seducing the eye, it was about a deeper interrogation of what lay beneath the surface. Her commitment to authenticity, and to challenging norms, invited others to question, to feel, and to see beyond what was readily apparent. The reaction from the room was almost audible, a collective deep breath followed by a resonant hum of approval. As she continued her interaction, Madison also addressed the question budding in a few curious minds, her unconventional entrance. With a graceful nod, she elaborated, "When I landed from my flight, I had a choice, to retreat, rest, and arrive later in formal attire, or to join you immediately, as I was, unadulterated by superficial standards. I chose the latter not to make a statement but to remind myself and others that authenticity often lies beneath our outer appearances." There was an elegance in her honesty, a peeling back of layers to reveal a profound truth that resonated deeply in the room. Madison's story and her art became extensions of each other, twining together to create something infinitely more impactful. Her commitment to these principles was a reminder of the importance of integrity in artistry, and it encouraged others, curators, peers, patrons, to evaluate their own practices and approaches. As her speech wound to a close, Madison invited conversations, hoping to prompt authentic exchanges that could extend beyond the curated walls of the gallery. Guests began to engage once more with the works, now through lenses informed by the artist's insights, seeking to uncover meanings that were previously elusive. The room, scattered with lively discussions and thoughtful reflection, returned to a vibrant tableau of discovery. Madison, stepping back from the limelight for a moment, observed the gallery with heartfelt satisfaction. Faces, animated and intrigued, studied her pieces with newfound understanding. Her mission felt accomplished, not just in the acceptance of her work but in the profound conversations ignited by her narrative. Meanwhile, Vanessa, who had observed Madison's talk with renewed respect, felt compelled to reflect on her own journey. Witnessing Madison's humility and authenticity in action stirred something within her, a call to reevaluate her approach to leadership and her assumptions about appearances. The narratives shared today, entwined with those expressed through art, were an encouragement for change. For a few moments, Vanessa was lost in thought, contemplating how she might better champion such authenticity within her own role at the gallery. She recognized an opportunity for transformation, not just for herself, but within the culture of their workplace, a chance to encourage empathy, understanding, and the sharing of myriad creative voices. Throughout the rest of the afternoon, the gallery brimmed with energy, defined not by Madison's entrance nor her attire, but by the poignant stories woven through her work, a testament to the power of art as both mirror and beacon. As Madison continued to engage with guests, guiding them through her world, the subtle shift in the gallery atmosphere signified more than just an exhibition. It was a reminder of art's enduring capability to challenge, to heal, and to unite. With the day progressing into late afternoon, the gallery remained alive with curious energy. Madison, amidst lively exchanges with critics and patrons alike, felt an exhilarating sense of accomplishment. Her art had indeed sparked thoughtful debate and drawn admirers into new realms of perception. But for Vanessa, the day had marked a deeper personal journey. Witnessing Madison's unwavering authenticity had been transformative, sparking introspection and a desire to evolve. As the gallery began to transition into its evening rhythm, Vanessa knew her role in the events needed acknowledgement and resolution. Finding a quiet moment, Vanessa approached Martin, whose calm demeanor had stayed steadfast throughout the day. His guidance and empathy had paved the way for many successful exhibitions, and today had been no exception. Underneath the gallery lights, reflecting like scattered stars on polished floors, Vanessa felt the weight of necessity upon her. "Martin," she began, her voice carrying genuine humility. "I've been thinking about what you said earlier and how I can be more supportive of the team and the artists we showcase. I want to apologize for how I acted." Martin studied her closely, noting the sincerity etched in her features. "I appreciate you coming forward, Vanessa. Learning from our missteps is crucial for growth." Madison's openness and impact today served as a reminder for us all. Vanessa nodded, feeling a flush of gratitude for his understanding. "I'll make it right, with her and with the team." With Martin's encouragement spurring her on, Vanessa took the opportunity to reflect on her position within this evolving narrative. She was committed to fostering a more inclusive and supportive environment, not just for the artists whom they hosted, but for the entire gallery team. As the evening wore on, Madison was seated with a group of critics who had been effusive in their admiration. They exchanged insights into the trends shaping the broader art world, Madison graciously accepting praise while offering her own perspectives on creative direction and integrity. The conversation swirled with colorful anecdotes and laughter, a celebration of shared passions and creative kinship. Meanwhile, Vanessa re-emerged, having prepared to address the staff during their evening debrief. She gathered the team together, her demeanor one of respectful composure. As the staff assembled, their earlier skepticism had transformed into an eagerness to align, inspired by Madison's presentation and her refreshing candidness. "Thank you all for your hard work today," Vanessa began, her voice confident yet sincere. "I owe a particular thanks to Madison and Martin. Today was a reminder of how vital it is to maintain openness and respect for each individual's contributions, irrespective of first impressions. The team listened attentively, the weight of her words echoing in the quiet spaces between them. I hold myself accountable and assure you that I'm committed to creating a supportive and respectful environment moving forward, Vanessa concluded, meeting the gaze of each team member as she spoke. Later, as guests began to slowly drift towards the exits, having been touched by the day's revelations and aesthetic delights, Madison prepared to conclude her time at the gallery. Her presence had cast a bright, transformative light not just on the paintings and installations themselves but on the fabric of the community within the gallery's walls. Vanessa approached Madison with a newfound respect and calmness that belied her earlier apprehensions. "Madison," she began, "I wanted to personally apologize for my earlier assumption. It's been a humbling experience, and I truly admire your work and the impact you've made today." Madison offered Vanessa a warm smile, her response imbued with the kindness that characterized her. "Thank you, Vanessa. We all have moments of oversight. What matters is how we choose to learn from them. I'm grateful we got to share this day and that it allowed for growth." Their exchange, brief yet genuine, was a testament to new beginnings and the strength found in humility and understanding. For Vanessa, it marked a turning point. The honest connection she sought not only benefited her personal journey toward leadership but also inspired a culture of empathy she wished to cultivate within the gallery. As the evening drew to a close, Madison prepared to leave, her spirits high from the day's encounters. With every step through those familiar halls now imbued with memories and exchanges, she felt firmly established in her role as both an artist and an influencer of profound relationships. With a final glance over the gallery, a place where her visions transformed into a communal experience of introspection and discourse, Madison walked through the doors with authority and grace. Her departure was a departure from anonymity, stepping confidently into a space where both her art and her ethos garnered respect and admiration. The gallery, now quieter, pulsed with the echoes of earlier conversations, laughter, and revelations, a space forever marked by the experience shared that day. The staff were left in her wake, inspired, ambitious, and armed with the will to capture more of life's woven stories within their frames and canvases. Madison's journey had led her to this moment, and as she moved forward into the evening, the feeling of being understood and appreciated sustained her. It was a reminder that true art, when shared authentically, holds the power to transform and unite across boundaries, time, and perceptions, creating dialogues that shape both strong communities and lasting legacies.